Hello, I am here this morning with, hope I pronounced that right, with Artisan Steel Design. And Jensen, I've asked Jensen to be here because I wanted him to talk about his beautiful artistry. And actually, I'd like you to share your story, how you got started, because I think it's a great story.
Okay, sure.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, Jensen Utrecht here with Artisan Steel Designs. Essentially how I got started, I kind of stumbled into welding. It was something that back in high school, I just tried to take the shop class that they had there, and I decided that I absolutely loved it. And so I pursued that all throughout high school. I continued into college to take some advanced welding courses there, and then I just joined the workforce. I've been in love with welding ever since, and the metal, and eventually I came here to California to get my contractor's license.
And inspired in 2009 by a single luminous flicker from the arc of a welder. So it really is your passion, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that. What inspired you to start Artisan Steel Design, and how did you get into the ornamental metals industry? Like what I know you liked welding, right? You liked working with metal, but what inspired you to take it a step further?
Well, so there's obviously multiple different avenues that you can do with the skill of welding. You can go and just be a very good welder and do welds. I decided that the artistic way is the way that I wanted to go. I wanted to do the kind of decoration of the building. So the reason I started Artisan Steel Design was so that I would have a little bit more control over the quality of the product. I was a little bit disheartened by some of the places that I had been working, and I just thought that the product could be better, the designs could be better, and we could really take our time with these things if we were willing to. And so in order to be able to offer that to people, I needed to start my own thing, and so that's what I did.
So it's all custom. Everything is custom.
Everything.
So you mentioned building an owl house. So, that's super cool. And then obviously if someone needs a gate or a security door, but talk about some of the other fun projects that you've worked on.
Sure. Yeah, steel is just, it's a material. It's very strong. It holds its own weight, and it's easy to attach wood and other things too. So for that reason, it's very adverse. It can become a lot of things. It can become an owl house. It can become a fire pit. It can become a security door or a gate, all of those things, It can be bent, cut, shaped the way it works. It's just, it's a little different than wood because there's no mistake. You can rework it and work it over and over and just achieve really any look that you want. Yeah.
Okay. And can you walk us through your creative process? So when you're designing like something that's a custom architectural metal piece.
It typically begins with client consultation. We talk about what they're looking for. I encourage them to find photographs elsewhere of things that they like, so that we can start to get kind of a lane to go down of inspiration, and from there we start to build. You like that aspect of this thing that you sent me, and then the other aspect of another picture you sent me. So now we can kind of start to merge and really make your custom dream come true. So that's the design process, right? And then I'll draw a drawing for them, a sample, and once we get an agreement of this is what it's going to look like, they're happy with that, I proceed with the build.
Okay.
And I like to send progress photos throughout.
Nice.
A lot of times if
Sure.
that's something that the client wants to be a part of, and that way, it just kind of maximizes making sure that they're getting what they really want.
Okay. And then, so doors, gates, we talked about interior, stair railing. What are some of the other things that people wouldn't just think about that you've done?
Well, I did mention fire pits. Interesting things. There's a dog run. I've done several dog runs. A lot of times in Arizona, I've done them over there because of coyotes and things like that.
Sure.
That want to protect people's dogs. Most of what I do, it's okay. Planter boxes, trellises. You know, trellises they go in the yard and the vine can grow up
Sure.
it, and so a lot of times people just really anything that can be made out of metal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so that's, I mean, that's the idea is to dream. You know, I could make a fire pit, a barbecue grill. I mean, really,
So
it's
anything
unlimited.
and elaborate. So what if you want a monogram in your security door?
Absolutely, yeah. And so, right, and that, you know, I have a computer-aided plasma cutting machine, and so we can upload an image, and that cuts that out, and I can incorporate that into the gate. And so, you know, that's also another thing, window guards people put up, and we can kind of do like a laser cut design so it doesn't look like prison bars, but
I was
it's
going
like
to say the security bars
right.
that go on the
yeah,
windows.
but you know, but like a nice laser cut panel that's that's got a design to it, but it's still made of steel. So
Sure.
of course it's gonna, you know, it's protect and yeah. So
That's neat. I wouldn't have thought of that. Okay.
all kinds of crazy things. And you know, with the owl houses, actually I didn't build the owl house. You can purchase them. It's a wooden owl house, but I put it. They have to go 16 feet in the air.
Okay.
And so that's what I did. Is I welded a platform for it to sit on and install. You know, so installed that. So it's just the sky is the limit with metal.
I love it. And you talked about your mission statement. So to create architectural masterpieces that redefine steel craftsmanship, from awe-inspiring gates and security doors to elegant stair railings and balconies, every creation is an exemplar to our allegiance with detail and quality. So that is who you are.
Absolutely.
You know, besides being custom, which is, you know, yes, people can go to Home Depot, go get, you know, any type of gates anywhere, but the fact that you do this custom is, you know, that's huge. That's a huge thing. So talk to me a little bit about cost. I know it's hard to estimate or predict, but you know, cost-wise, is it like?
So to be honest, you know, I'm not the cheapest out there. Absolutely,
Yeah,
you know,
you wouldn't be because you're custom.
Right, and so, but that's of course that's why I make sure that that's what people are looking for,
Sure.
and I never take offense if that's not what people are looking for. So you know, I mean, as far as cost goes, obviously everything is so completely custom,
Sure.
but you know. It's still very fair, and I'm certainly not the highest. But you know, that being said, that's yeah.
Well, I work with you know, many ranges of home prices, and you know, people, especially in the wine country or Duluth, are often looking for some of your creative type of product, and especially when it comes to gates. And what about how large of a scale can you do? Like security gates for entry for cars, or I mean, you know, how big can you go?
25-foot wide RV opening gates, double swing with a motor.
Perfect.
Yeah, huge entry doors that have, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Anything else you'd like to share?
Not necessarily. I think that you know, I appreciate you showcasing my business today, and that's you know, the message that I wanted to get across is that you know, the biggest thing I stress is the attention to detail. I like to make sure that the project is very unique and has all the extra bells and whistles. So you know, thank you for showcasing me today.
Okay, so if someone wants to reach you, how do they get a hold of you?
My website is artisansteeldesigns.com, or you know, I have a social media presence mostly on Facebook. You can find me there, again, Artisan Steel Designs, and you know, my number is 480-351-9120. You can call me.
Thank you, Jensen. Thank you for being here. Hey.